Their goal is to make people feel and perform their best. Today, we introduce you to Strength and Recovery on the Charleston Women Podcast.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
And now I'd like to introduce to the Charleston Women Podcast from Strength and Recovery, Louise Van Patten and Liz Hollenczer. Ladies, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. So tell me a little bit. I'm going to start with you, Louise, because you come from a completely different background, but you opened this business. And then Liz, will move to you to talk more about all the services that you provide. So Louise, just tell me a little bit about, how you got into this kind of work, if you will.
Yes. So my previous life, I was actually a television producer.
Oh, wow.
And it definitely, as I started to get older, started to have a little wear and tear on my body, and sought out different services to help me overcome some of my issues, and then also stay healthy once I got clear of those things. So I was doing assisted stretching and acupuncture and massage and sauna and whatever was needed for my body at the time. But I was going to 5 different places, and each provider, while not wrong, had a very different approach. So at times it was very difficult to know what was the best thing to do. And at one point in my television career, I worked with a lot of athletes, and I did the profiles of the injury recovery and rehab. And I was like, if I was a collegiate athlete, I just walk into the training center and I'd have all the services in one place, all the providers in one place. They'd all know me, they'd all crosstalk, and I'd have a more clear path to my both injury prevention or my recovery, whatever was needed. So I thought the average person should have that. So when I decided to leave television, I opened it.
I love this story. So from what I hear you saying, it's kind of for the non-athlete, not to say you can't be athletic to go there, but for the average person to go get that one-stop shop of recovery, right? Instead of running around to all these different places, you've made it really easy for people.
Absolutely. And, if you lead an active lifestyle, are an athlete or a weekend warrior, or just getting a bit older and finding day-to-day activities a little bit harder for you, we can help you across the board. I mean, our main goal, we like to say, is injury prevention, but we can certainly help you move beyond any injuries or nagging aches and pains.
Right. So Louise, you open this. Liz, you're the one that provides the services. Walk me through some of the stuff that you offer.
Yeah, so we try to be as comprehensive as possible. So that starts in kind of a basic sense with a temperature-based treatment, so both hot and cold therapy. So we have a cryo tank that is a nitrogen-based tank, not a cold plunge. And then we have our infrared sauna. Both have advantages compared to their other hot and cold therapy counterparts, but both very effective. And then we have hands-on treatments like our assisted stretching, our cupping, our massage and acupuncture. And then we have some more of our self-service modalities that we like to use, like our compression gear, our massage guns, foam rollers, that sort of thing. So we try to provide as many different tools for people to use as possible in one spot, so that as needs fluctuate, you're not worried about, I'm roped into this package at this place, but I kind of want to try that. It's all just available for you to figure out what system works for you at that point in time.
That's great. You said the word package. So is that how it works? That you get a membership and then you get access to these different, services?
So we're big believers in not roping into things you don't need. I come from an athlete.
Who isn't, right? We all appreciate that.
my background's athletic training, particularly athletic training in the collegiate and high school setting, where you're not roped into anything because your school provides whatever services you might need for you. And so in that same vein, we make every service available as just a single service.
Oh, that's great.
So never roped into anything long-term. There are packages and memberships available. So for a lot of people, it helps maintain consistency because you've already committed to the payment part of it. And so you say, well, I'm going to make use of what my money is going to. And for some people, that's a little extra nudge of motivation that they need to stay consistent, which is time and time again shown to be the actual, the catalyst of injury prevention is consistency.
In 1996, it was Southern Women to Women magazine. Now it's Charleston Women magazine. Charleston Women is all about strong, capable, confident, hardworking, nurturing, determined, dedicated, and inspiring women. Our readers are business owners, entrepreneurs, mothers, sisters, wives, and grandmothers. Pick up your copy of Charleston Women magazine at Charleston area Harris Teeters and Food Lions. Charleston Women magazine. We are Charleston Women.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
Who is a good client of yours? I know you keep saying injury prevention. I know a lot of times, though, we don't think about, we're just busy, right? We don't think about it until something really starts to hurt or we're down the path where we really need help. So, how do you encourage people to go see you earlier? Who's the perfect client, if you will?
Everyone is a good client here because we're able to offer so many different types of services. So we see everyone from competitive weightlifters to half marathon runners to people who are just average kind of, I want to get through my day-to-day life and activities with my kids or with my partner and be pain-free. I will talk people's ear off about injury prevention, but for a lot of people, until they've had an injury, they don't buy into it because you always think, oh, it won't be that bad, or I'm invincible. And then once it happens, you realize, oh, that's not the case. But the beautiful thing about the way we're able to offer services here is that the ideal client isn't just a one mold person. It's everybody that you can think of because we can custom tailor everything to who you are, what you want, and what your needs are.
Yeah. What would you say for someone who's like, I'm active, I want to help prevent injury, but they don't know what they need? Do they go and get a free consultation that says maybe you'd benefit from cupping or the cold or warm therapy? Like, how do you help people navigate that?
Yeah, so we do offer a free initial consultation. It's something that I see quite a lot of. There's a lot of people that come in and they're not really sure, do I need to go see a physician for this? Do I need to go to physical therapy? Should I go try the cryo or try a stretch, whatever it may be that has popped up on their phone or from their friends recently that gets kind of haphazardly recommended. And so I always do an initial evaluation with people for free just to help kind of navigate what can be really muddy water, especially when the information isn't coming from super reliable resources like social media and maybe friends who have tried something, but it's worked for them. That doesn't mean it's applicable for somebody else.
Right. Louise, what do people say after they go and experience your services? What's the before and after?
Well, I would say the thing that I'm most proud of, is after people have come and tried our services and met Liz or some of our other providers, is the level of experience and education that our staff has. They're like, oh, I tried this someplace else and I had no idea, what the science was behind it or why something is good for me and something else may not be what I need, or the order I should be trying things. Like I should try the sauna before the cryo. The other way around is counterintuitive. So I'm really, really happy with the clients that come out, one, educated, and two, feeling like they were heard and that they have a path forward.
Right. Because it is difficult, right? Trying to find, right. You go so many different places and you hear different things. Like, to me, it's very appealing that you get one voice, you get the education with it, and, more of like a 360 approach, if you will, not just one thing. You're willing to try multiple things.
Yeah.
where do we find you in Charleston for people listening to this or they're watching this? I know you've piqued their interest, especially as we're moving through a new year. We all want to be our best selves and feel our best selves. What's the first step for someone who's interested?
Well, certainly check out our website at strength-recovery.com. Our physical location, we're in the heart of Mount Pleasant at 910 Johnny Dodds Boulevard. Mm-hmm. We're Suite 140, so we are in the back of the building. Okay. So the best thing to do is first and foremost, come in and have an initial consult with Liz. Talk about, especially with the new year, talk about your goals for this year. You know, a lot of people start exercising, but then they also start hurting.
Right.
And then they give up.
The downside of exercise, isn't it?
So, you know, we would love to be part of that New Year's resolution to help you get past January 30th and keep going and find the results that you want.
I love that. It is so true, right? To keep those goals going, you need to feel good and to have that consistency. You know, Louise, for me, like, you're so interesting that you came from TV and now you're doing this. What would you say to anyone listening right now just about changing directions in life? I'm sure it was a bold move. I'm sure you might have been a little scared at the time to go ahead and do something so drastically different.
Well, I had already made the decision. I had lived in LA for 20 plus years, working in television, but I had grown up in Virginia. So I was an East Coast girl. Mm-hmm. So my husband and I had already made the decision to move to the East Coast and had selected Charleston to build a home. And then I was like, I can't do what I do in Charleston. Mm-hmm. And I was, the type of television I did was large event shows, like award shows and concerts and things like that. So it was even harder to battle a TV career here. So I started thinking about, you know, what was of interest to me and what had meaning for me. Mm-hmm. And I realized that the last couple of years working in television, taking care of my body as I was getting older was really important to me. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing all the research and decided that this was the right thing for me.
Yeah. How did you two connect? How did she find you, Liz? The putting out job postings and talked to a lot of people. And I really liked Liz's take on how she approached the client, and she was definitely not somebody who was here to sell you something. She was here to make you feel good. Yeah. And that was just so important to me. Right. Liz, for you, what is the most rewarding part of the work that you do?
I think I always felt a really big passion of helping athletes feel their best, especially when it comes to athletic performance, helping people reach those goals that they've always had. Mm-hmm. So I had athletes that won state championships, conference championships, bowl games for football, and being able to be a part of their journey to achieve those dreams is always really rewarding. And I found that it lacked the opportunity to help people that didn't inherently have those resources. I saw it a lot with some of the less financially privileged populations that I worked with, that this was the first time that they had access to regular health care. And I saw that expanded to my non-athlete populations, that they have a lot of the same needs when it comes to orthopedic care, that we want to be pain-free when we reach up and grab stuff off the top of a shelf, or when we're picking up our kids from playing on the floor. And without access to knowledge, you're never in the position to be better. And so the opportunity to work with anybody that just wanted to improve their overall health and wellness, particularly when it comes to orthopedics, that was just such a wonderful opportunity. And I'm glad that I can help people across a very large spectrum. So my youngest clients are 13, 14, and I have some that are in their mid to late 70s, and a whole range of activity levels. And just to give as many people as possible the knowledge and the opportunity to feel their best, regardless of the fact that they're not like an elite athlete of some kind.
Right. It's got to make you feel good each and every day to make a difference. All ages, all levels. What a great
Absolutely.
thing that you do.
Absolutely.
I have one final question. It's a little strange sometimes, but I love asking when I meet successful women such as yourselves. I think the way we start our day sets us up for success. So I'm always fascinated when I ask, business owners, entrepreneurs, like, what do you do to start your day? Are you an early riser? Do you work out? Do you meditate? Do you have coffee? I find it fascinating. So go. I don't know who wants to go first.
Well, I would say Liz and I complement each other well because she's the morning person and I am not. But for me, as soon as I roll out of bed, it's my 5-minute stretch routine on the floor.
Yeah.
Directly, immediately. And then it's a nice long walk on the beach with my 2 huskies.
And now I have a question for you, because I know every day I'm like, I'm going to wake up and stretch, and I never do it. I know I should. Did you do that before you met Liz? Like, has that been a part of your lifestyle, or has Liz nudged you in that direction?
Well, now I complement it with a weekly stretch with Liz. So I get that extra deeper stretch. But I started doing it in earnest, I will put it to you that way, as I was prepping to open. So I had met Liz, but we didn't have a studio yet or anything like that. And we were talking about it, and I was like, I need to practice what I preach. And I'll tell you, it has made a world of difference. The combination of just a simple 5-minute daily stretch combined with a good once a week deep stretch.
Yeah. When you say world of difference, you feel more limber, you feel more energetic. Like, what's the difference?
I used to walk around pretty consistently with lower back and hip pain.
Okay.
Just without doing anything.
Yeah. Just a consistent.
Strenuous. Yeah. And I no longer have any of those issues.
That's wonderful. See, Liz, you're a miracle worker. Work your magic. Liz, what do you do to start your day?
I am more of an early bird. I like to move first thing in the morning. So usually 3, maybe 4 days a week, if I'm feeling ambitious, I try to work out first thing in the morning. And then the days that I don't work out, I usually take the dogs for a walk, hopefully 2 miles. So each of them can get a good, decent walk in there. And then breakfast, because I'm starving by then, and a cup of coffee, so that as I get into the day, I'm really rolling on the most amount of energy I could have.
That's good. I mean, for both of you, the common ground here is movement from when you wake up. Is that, if you were to tell our listeners, like, one takeaway today, one small shift we could all make to make ourselves feel better moving forward, what would that be?
Move. One of the things you'll hear a lot from athletic trainers like myself, physical therapists, even orthopedic doctors, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so if you're not using your motion, you will lose your motion. And whether that happens now or 10 years from now, you're going to notice the effects. So move your body in whatever way is good for you or the way that you like, but move your body.
Yeah. And is it ideal that it's first thing in the morning? Does that make a difference? Or it doesn't matter, just whenever you can?
Whenever you can. Some people are not morning people, and rolling out of bed and starting the coffee pot is the best it's going to get.
Stumbling there. I get it.
That is fair. It's a really personal kind of decision of what works for you. I have some clients that they love the mid-afternoon time slot to move their body because that's kind of when their energy is peaking for the day. Some people like to move their body to unwind from the day, and they're afternoon, evening people. It's all just what fits for you, your lifestyle, your schedule. And just like what we offer here, it's customizing what is built for you and your body, because it's not a one size fits all. So you just got to figure out what's best for you. And sometimes that's trial and error. And sometimes the little voice in your back of your head just knows, and you got to listen to it.
Okay. Well, I know everyone listening to this podcast, right? If they're not walking as they're listening to this, they're like, I should get up. That's what I feel like. I'm going to go take a walk when we're done here. Ladies, it has been so wonderful talking to you. Say your information again so everyone can remember it, and go ahead and book that first consultation.
All right. We're Strength and Recovery. You can find us on the internet at strength-recovery.com. And you can find the studio at 910 Johnny Dodds Boulevard, Suite 140. And we're all the way in the back of the building.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. This has been the Charleston Women Podcast with Louise and Liz from Strength and Recovery.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.